So there's a lot of new Jordans coming out. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm showing you guys some of the clips from this crazy Jordan Brand spring summer unveiling event that I went to last week and just give you guys my thoughts on some of these sneakers that you may have seen before, some that you probably haven't, and just give you guys an idea of my thoughts on the whole collection. Well, not the whole collection. There are some shoes I can't show you guys just yet. You might have to wait a couple more days to see some of those guys, but believe me, it'll be worth the wait. Of course, really quick before we get into the video, I want to thank Jordan Brand so much for having me out to this event. I mean, honestly, getting invited to a Jordan Brand event like this is crazy. It's not something that I ever dreamed of being able to do. So the fact that Jordan Brand even thought of me when they were sending out invites, that's crazy and I'm honored. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet and want to see more videos just like this one. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to go to crazy events like this, so thank you guys for that. And finally, make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler because that's where I post sneak peeks of upcoming reviews, some of these sneakers before I actually make a video about them, all sorts of good stuff like that, so make sure to check it out. But as you can tell, this video is pretty different than some of my previous videos. I'm not doing it in my normal setup. I'm actually doing it at my workstation instead. And the reason I'm doing that is because originally I shot this video thinking that it might be a montage or something like that. And the more I looked at the footage and the more I thought about it, I think it'd be much more interesting for you guys if I actually gave my true, honest thoughts about these sneakers and what I thought about the collection as a whole. So what I'm gonna do is run through the collection, let you guys know what I'm thinking, let you guys know when they're releasing, and as always, let me know what you guys think of the collection in the comment section down below. But starting things off, Jordan Brand unveiled a bunch of new Westbrook 0.1s, shoes that we might have seen at previous events. I'm not exactly sure. I remember seeing some of these at the Future of Flight event back in January. It's a whole bunch of colorways of the Westbrook 0.1s and a couple new 32 colorways. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Jordan Brand did give me a pair of 0.1s at the event. So why don't we take a look at these guys and see how they look in person. So the pair that they gave me was the Jordan Why Not 0.1 3D Kings. So this Why Not 0.1 is in honor of his triple-double record. And you've got this really interesting sort of a split look on the shoe. From the toe to the midfoot of the shoe, you've got this black upper, and then on the heel of the shoe, you've got this orange rubber with some sort of yellow and blue speckles. But something really interesting about this shoe that I didn't expect until I saw it in person was that the orange is only on one side of the sneaker. On the medial side, you actually have blue, which of course is the OKC colors. Now, to be fair, the Jordan Westbrook Why Not 0.1 isn't my favorite shoe, and this is probably not a shoe that I'd wear just for lifestyle. It's probably a shoe that I only really wear on the court. But honestly, looking at this particular colorway online, I wasn't a fan, but seeing it in person, it's not bad. There's definitely a lot of rubbers on this shoe. There's not really any leather on it whatsoever. I don't know if it's gonna be stiff the first time I'm playing it or what. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna feel, but I do plan on doing a review on these guys. I'm not sure if it's gonna be just sort of a visual overview or if it's gonna be a performance review. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like to see more. But I think it's a pretty cool basketball shoe overall, and if you're a Westbrook fan or an OKC fan, colorway is perfect for you. So obviously Jordan Brand is making a big push with the Why Not 0.1s, and I don't think that's a bad thing because it is definitely a great budget basketball shoe. So if you're trying to get a good shoe for a good price, not a bad way to go. They're also releasing on May 1st the Do You version of the shoe, which is the all white version, which actually really cool detail is that it comes with a Sharpie. So when you actually get the shoe, they want you to start drawing on it and make it your own version of the shoe, because that's actually what Westbrook does. He draws on every single pair of shoes that he wears on court. So I think that's a really cool concept, and I really like what they're doing with the sneaker. And honestly, just by adding the Sharpie in the pack and letting you know that they want you to draw on the shoe rather than just giving you an all-white shoe really kind of brings the concept to life and makes it a much more interesting shoe than it would have been as just an all-white sneaker. You've also got the Hyper Jade colorway coming out on the 12th of May. Interesting shoe, nothing too crazy, not exactly my thing. And then if you're into all black shoes, on June 1st, they have the Masters colorway dropping. But enough with the Why Not 0.1s, a good shoe overall, but let's be honest, it's probably not why you guys are here. There are a couple new 32 colorways coming out, like the black Stealth colorway, which is pretty clean. It's just a black 32, but it does have a new 3D heel counter, which I think is cool and a little bit more durable. The way it was described to me is that it's more durable and more playoff ready, so that's the reason that they're changing up the heel counter on the shoe. And if the standard 32 isn't your thing, there's also two Lowe versions of the sneaker. On May 11th, you've got the Neo Heritage dropping, and then on June 9th, you've got the Last Shot colorway dropping. So that was pretty much it for the basketball performance sneakers that were announced at the event. There was actually also a lot of really cool women's Jordans that were announced as well. So one really cool thing that Jordan Brand is doing is that they actually created an all-women's design team. And this is actually the team that designs the women's collection of the shoes, which I think is super cool because obviously men don't always know what women want. So it's really cool to see that there's finally a Jordan collection that's designed by women for women. And the shoes that were announced are actually really cool and shoes that I actually may have to grab for my girlfriend, whether she likes them or not, because I think they're dope. So there were pretty much 4 styles that were announced. You've got the Air Jordan 1 Lifted, which kind of looks like an Air Force 1, but it's got more of a heel on it, and obviously it's an Air Jordan 1. It's also got this really clean beige patent leather finish, which I think looks really nice, and I actually showed my girlfriend all these sneakers and asked her which one that she would actually want to wear herself, and this one was one of her favorites because it didn't look so much like a sneaker, and also this is her favorite shade of pink, so that definitely helps. If you or your girl are trying to pick up a pair, this one dropped on April 1st for $110. Also in the collection was the Air Jordan 1 Zip. This is just a different take on the Air Jordan 1. Obviously it doesn't have a swoosh on the side and it's got a zip down the middle rather than laces. Obviously it's not designed for me, it's designed for women, so maybe they would like that more than I would. This wasn't a particular favorite of my girlfriend's. I'm gonna use her a lot because obviously she's a woman and she knows what she likes. This guy drops on April 13th for $150, and if this pink isn't your thing, there's also a green version, a mica green version that drops in May. Next up was a beige version of the Air Jordan 11 Low with sort of a cracked patent leather finish, and then also some really nice suede on the upper. This is actually a really clean colorway of this shoe, and I love the Air Jordan 11 myself, and I think the Low isn't too bad. I love that this shoe has sort of a monochromatic look, and it's not too crazy and too out there. Even the outsole is kind of a similar shade of beige as the rest of the sneaker, and that's something that I really like personally. If you're looking to grab this Air Jordan 11 Low, it drops on April 13th for $110. And finally rounding out this beige collection is the Air Jordan 3 SE, and I've got to say, I love this shoe. This is my girlfriend's other favorite shoe from this collection, and this is the one that I'd probably buy her if I was to buy her any. And the reason it's a cool looking shoe, obviously besides the colorway itself, is that it's not as bulky as regular Air Jordan 3s. Apparently one of the biggest complaints about the Air Jordan 3, at least when women were wearing the shoe, was that it looked really bulky on feet. So this particular women's version of the shoe is actually slimmed down. They cut down on the materials pretty significantly, so it's a much more slim shoe. And I think the overall aesthetic of this shoe and the fact that they really simplified it makes it look super clean. And this colorway on this shoe, I think is fire. If you're looking to grab the AJ3 SE, it drops on May 8th for $180. Next up, we've got some heat dropping. First up is a shoe that a lot of people thought was gonna be the Flyknit Air Jordan 6, and that's actually not the case. I learned from the Air Jordan representative that the only thing that's actually from the Air Jordan 6 is the midsole and outsole itself. The rest of the upper is totally redesigned and is completely made of Flyknit. The shoe is called the Jordan Flyknit Elevation 23, and it doesn't have a specific release date. It's kind of just gonna go into stores when it goes into stores. For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the sneaker. Unlike the Flyknit Jordan 1, which had a lot of history behind the shoe, this is kind of just a new Jordan model, and while I don't think it looks bad, it's not something that I really want to rock. It does have some pretty nice 3M or sort of silver accents woven into the Flyknit, which I think is pretty cool. Next up is one of the most anticipated drops of the year, the Air Jordan 1 Shadow. This shoe drops next weekend, April 14th, and I can guarantee you this shoe will sell out. I already did a review on the Shadow 1, so if you guys want to check that out, make sure to click the link at the top of the screen. The quality on the shoe is just like the Bread ones or Royal ones. It's more of a remastered Air Jordan 1. All the gray panels are really soft and really tumbled, and overall, it's a really excellent quality shoe. It's really great to see these guys retroing again, and I can tell you, I'm definitely gonna try and double up on this shoe. Next up is the Air Jordan 10 Dark Shadow. This is the first time the shoe is retroed in its true OG form, and I think for a lot of people, that's gonna be a big deal. The shoe features suede and tumbled leather accents with a very dark gray and black colorway, and really with a colorway like this, you can pretty much rock it with anything. The Air Jordan 10 Dark Shadow releases on April 21st for $190 if you're trying to grab a pair for yourself. Next up, dropping on April 28th for $175 is a shoe that I've been really looking forward to. If you couldn't already tell, it's the cool gray 11 Lows. I did an Instagram poll on this shoe, whether you guys thought it was heat or trash, and I was really blown away by the fact that the results were so even in both directions. I think it was like 58% heat, which really blew me away because the cool gray colorway is dope. The last time the cool grays dropped was in 2010, and that was one of the most coveted Air Jordan 11 colorways, and the fact that they're making a low version of this shoe for the first time, that's crazy. To each his own. I noticed a lot of people commenting that they just didn't like this new colorway of the Air Jordan 11, so it makes me think that a lot of people checking out this shoe haven't been into sneakers for that long, because if you don't know about the cool gray 11, I don't know what you're doing. Regardless, the shoe will definitely sell out. I'm definitely gonna try and grab a pair for myself. I think it's one of the best shoes of the year. And now moving on to a brand new colorway of the Air Jordan 14s, the Desert Sand Infrareds. This colorway totally took me by surprise. I had no idea it was coming out. A lot of times colorways are leaked like months in advance. Like we all knew the cool gray 11s were coming out for a while. These guys took me totally by surprise. I had no idea they were dropping. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this shoe in the comment section down below. I'm kind of torn on it. It's not exactly my thing. I'm not a huge fan of the 14s, and I don't really love this Desert Sand Infrared colorway. I think it's just a little bit weird, but from what I've seen on Instagram, people seem to really like this shoe, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. The shoe primarily comes in this tan, desert sand, sort of suede nubuck upper, and then of course you've got a couple infrared accents on the heel. If you're looking to grab the desert sand infrared 14, it drops on May 15th for 190 bucks. Now moving on to some more crazy stuff that you've probably never seen before, the first being the Air Jordan 11 Low My Amour. Now this is a women's exclusive colorway of the Air Jordan 11 Low. It obviously comes in black and purple. The patent leather area of the shoe doesn't have that same smooth patent leather finish that you're used to. It's actually got this textured, crackled purple material. It's interesting, and if you're a girl that likes purple, maybe this is for you. The Air Jordan 11 Low My Amour drops on May 24th for 175 bucks. Jordan Brand also showed off another Air Jordan 14. This is the black and red colorway of the shoe, and it's called the Air Jordan 14 Last Shot. This shoe is primarily covered in tumbled leather and suede, and to be honest, you can't really go wrong with a black and red colorway, especially not on a Jordan. If you're looking to grab the Jordan 14 Last Shot, it drops on June 14th for 190 bucks. Moving along, we've got another surprise release, one that I really didn't expect, and that's the Air Jordan 28 Ray Allen. This sneaker comes in a primarily black and white colorway. If you keep the shroud totally up, it's all black, and if you pull the shroud down, there's some white accents. The sole comes in translucent blue, and if you're a fan of the Air Jordan 28, this is not a bad sneaker. Also, if you're a Ray Allen fan, there's a lot of little details on the shoe that pay homage to his career. I've actually never tried the Air Jordan 28, and it's definitely not a shoe that I would wear casually. I'd really only wear it on the court. But hey, if it's a shoe that you're interested in, it drops on May 12th for $200. And finally, rounding out the collection is the Air Jordan 1 High OG Kawhi Leonard. Maybe I missed some articles, maybe I missed some leaks, but I had no idea this shoe was dropping. Obviously, by the name, this is a Kawhi Leonard themed sneaker. You've got the Kawhi handprint on the tag of the tongue on the left sneaker. You've also got little accents throughout the shoe, like the 16 on the heel and the championship trophy tag. I like the way it looks personally. I love the silver, I love the black, and I love the white, but I'm not sure how it's going to be received. I would assume that it's limited because of all the accents on the shoe, and unfortunately, I think honestly that's going to be the deciding factor on whether people pick up the shoe or not. I'm definitely going to try and grab this shoe because I think the silver is dope, and it's a really cool sort of metallic accent piece to any outfit, but it's definitely out there, so if you're not a huge fan of silver, this might not be the way to go for you. It's just different, and that's what I like about it. And I also like the fact that it's a high and not a mid. I feel like if this had been a mid-top version of the shoe, people just really wouldn't have liked it because for whatever reason, people just don't like mid-top versions of the Air Jordan 1. But the fact that they made it a high and the fact that it's got so many cool Kawhi Leonard details on the shoe, I think it's a winner. If you're trying to grab a pair of the Air Jordan 1 High Kawhi Leonards, they drop on April 28th. Guys, that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of this entire collection and honestly what you'd like to see from Jordan Brand in the future. And as always, guys, make sure to leave a like on this video if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one.